Hi everyone! So you are ready to dig in and start drafting the pattern transformation from the snowflake into the top? Grab your soft tape measurements, tape measure. If you're gonna draw it on your table, grab your pencil and your paper and your rulers, and let's start. I'm gonna demonstrate exactly how you should take your measurements, and then on the same video but next to the measurements, I will show you how to draft the pattern alteration. If you already want to move along and see how to sew it, you also have the sew along for the top version. I hope you like it. So you already have on our media content for the snowflake bikini and bra pattern, you already have the top made with swimwear fabric and how to draft it. Today I also wanted to show you some experiments that I've done. This one with 0 ease on the front and 5% on the back, and this one with 10% everywhere. So, and with the front horizontal perpendicular to the center, and with the flounce you should do it like so and not with a pointy center front. So this will be completely up to you, and once you have sewn your first attempt, you can then redraft until you get the correct ease for your fabric. So today I wanted to share with you 5% positive ease that I'm gonna draft, and I'm gonna show you again how to do it. So the first is from under the bust to my waist, which I'm gonna do 14 centimeters today. And then on my waist divided by 4 and then multiplied by 5% positive ease, I have 85. On my under bust divided by 4 and then multiplied by 5% positive ease, I have 19.16 centimeters. And now I'm going to unite this point to this one. Now I'm going to do a reference line horizontal here, and I'm going to do a vertical line here as a reference. Now I'm going to do exactly the same measurement here for the back, which will be my blue line in this case, and it's the same horizontal waist that we have done on the front, which is 17.85. Oh, 17.85. And on the under the bust area, which would be here, we will place the same as for the front, which is 19.16. And I'm going to unite again this point with this one here. Now you can see that our top edge is here, so I'm just going to draft an horizontal line as a reference, and I'm going to extend this line to the top there, and I'm going to, just like we did last time, I'm going to erase the reference lines, and I'm also going to extend my side front seam till the edge there. Okay. Now I'm gonna erase this one just so I can do an horizontal line here and you can understand better what I'm doing. And this one would go there. I have something here. Okay. Now this is my back and this is my front, but I want to lower the center front, the center back. So I'm gonna draw a point down here, like say 5.5 centimeters. And so my center back will be lower, and then I unite it to my side seam. Let's trace the back pattern. Oh, sorry. Let's trace the back pattern, which would be this one. And now let me trace the front one, which would be this one. I'm gonna erase all these lines that we don't need. I still need to mark the notch, this one here, because I want to create a style line. So I'm gonna see how much I have here plus how much I have here, which is total 1288, so I know my notch is 1288. And so now I want to trace a style line here, and you can decide whichever distance you want to. So in my case today, I'm gonna say 6.5, and now I'm gonna draft from the notch to this one, and I have my front style line already drafted. Now if I match my side seams, this one with this one, match, you can see that of course you cannot have this edge here sticking out. So actually what we want is a smooth connection from the front to the back. So imagine it could be something like I'm drafting here. So what I need to do is to lower this line until I have a smooth connection between the front and back, and this could be it. So I'm happy with it, so it's good for me. And now you also don't want to have this here. So again, you can do just a small curve here on the back. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark half of my back pattern. So I'm gonna split this line in two, and I'm gonna add a perpendicular line here, local. Okay, and this will be my back style line. Okay, so now I'm gonna draft a line from this point to this one here, and I'm gonna curve this line until I have a smooth connection between the front and back patterns, like this. Okay, and now let me trace again my front pattern. Oh, sorry, this is on paper, maybe it's easier for you because you can just go ahead and trace your new pattern. Oh, because my new pattern will be this one with this one with this one and this one, but no, of course not. I have to extend this line here. I have to extend this one, extend. Oh no, yes, I have to move this. This is something on my software, but I'm sure for you it's much easier. I'm still learning how to draft in this pattern. I don't know if you know, but I've only started drafting patterns like 2 years ago when the pandemic started. So I actually am not that experienced doing this, and I've said this a lot of times. I'm still an amateur, I'm still learning, and so it's sometimes also hard for me to do things, but well, I have here my front, and now I have here my back. Traces pattern, back. So we have the front and the back. I for sure don't need this small dot here or this one. And I now have to make sure that my side seams are measuring exactly the same, which they are. And now if you match your side seam, of course, it will be smooth, okay? Now I'm gonna cut my pattern here because I want to make 2 pieces on the front, and I'm gonna cut the back. So I want 4 pattern pieces plus my lower cups and upper cups. So I'm gonna copy them and paste them here. Now the only changes that I'm also going to do here is this seam allowance I want to be 6. Yeah, it's correct. So that's the same here, 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 and here, because it's the upper edge. All these areas need to have exactly the same measurement for the seam allowance, right? And now here is the front fold, so it doesn't have seam allowance. These two here, it's 0.6, which it's the same here, of course. Then between fabrics, between side seams, I always want 1 centimeter seam allowance, and on the lower part also 1 centimeter. So let me spread this here so you can see. Okay, so now I have 1 centimeter between the pattern pieces, 1 centimeter on the lower part, 0.6 on the top there, which is 1/4 of an inch, 0.6 also here, and then the pattern pieces. If you also want to do the foam pattern already, instead of just printing 2 and then cutting the seam allowances, of course you just need to copy this to the side here, and what I would do was just removing some seam allowances which we don't need for the foam, which would be this one, and this one. Oh, my software is thinking about it. Now I can perfectly write here foam. So I know, but just so I'm sure I know. This is the center back piece with 5% positive ease. I always write so that later I remember, okay? Back side 5% positive ease. Front, whoa, front sides 5% positive ease, center front 5% positive ease. And that's it. I already have here a new experiment to sew. If you want to add a flounce on the lower part here, you can do it perfectly by using the flounces, circular and spiral flounces available on our bikini pattern top 𝗗𝗧𝗥𝗘𝗧𝗖𝗛. And you also have a lot of videos on our YouTube on how to sew flounces, more about the flare, how to design them. Well, you have so many videos about flounces that I'm not going to repeat myself. So now I just need to arrange this on my working space. I need to print it, and then we will be able to sew this. And that's it for today, girls. I just drafted my pattern with 5% positive ease, but imagine instead of 5 on the waistline, imagine I wanted 8. So my waist girth is 68 divided by 4, it's 17. And if I multiply it by 8%, it will give you exactly the 8% positive ease for the waistline, which would be 17, which would be 17, where's my 1836. So imagine that it would be from here to here, 1836. It's not a huge difference between 5 and 8% positive ease, but it will make it maybe a little bit more comfortable on the waist, where sometimes I'm skinny in the morning and a little bit larger in the afternoon. So maybe this will actually help me. Let me see. This is 0.5, which actually doubled, no, times 4, it's 2 centimeters, so it might end up being a huge difference. So if I want, I can simply retrace my pattern all over again and do it 5% here like we had and 8% here. Let's just try this just to see how it goes. So let me do 18.36 and again from here to here, and again trace. And let's just check the difference between what we have done before with 5% and this one, which will be new with 8% on the waistline. So I'm gonna move it to the top here. This will be, let me just write, 5% under bust, positive ease, 8% positive ease waistline. Just so I know. Okay, so under bust 5% positive ease and waist 8% positive ease. Okay, let's just see how this goes. So I'm gonna use this one and this one and this one and the older one, which is still there, and it's actually the same. You match up this. what's happening. Compare these two. This one was the one we drafted with 5% positive ease on the underbust and also on the waist area, and you can see that this half of the pattern actually, because it's half of your body, front and back, you have 35.65 centimeters, which if I multiply by 2 will give me 71. My waist girth is 68, so this means that I will actually have 3 centimeters more than my real measurements. And I'm really not sure if this is enough for me or not, for me to be comfortable in the end of the day. So let me compare this 35 centimeters 0.65 that we have here with the ones we made here with the 8% on the waist. And here I have 36.69, so it's almost 1 centimeter more than on the 5% positive ease on the waist. This means that it will be probably more comfortable for me, because if I multiply it by 2, I will have 73. which the difference between my real measurements and the pattern will be 5 centimeters or 2 inches. I think 2 inches is better for me because I'm really different in the morning and in the afternoon, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and sew this option here and not this one here. But the cups are exactly the same that I have drafted before, so I can just copy them up here because they will be exactly the same. I just have to mark the notches as always, and of course add the seam allowances, but that's, you already know how to do it because you have seen me doing it on the lower part here. So as you can see, depending on the stretch of your materials and also on your experiments and adjusting the pattern to you, this shows you, I hope, that it's possible to do whatever adjustment you want to make it comfortable for you. Now I'm really wishing to see your own experiments, so don't forget to also share them with me if you can. See you soon. Bye girls, let's go ahead and start sewing.